Hello and welcome to Pugsley Crew Reviews. Today I have two guests, Kerr 9000.
Hiya.
And Doomed Prinny.
Hello.
The film we are going to be discussing today is called Thanksgiving. It was released in 2023. The person who decided on this film was Prinny.
Yay! Horror for the win.
Nothing wrong with a bit of horror. I think Kerr can agree with that too.
Oh yeah, I watch plenty of horror.
Any reasons why you picked Thanksgiving?
So, I watch a lot of horror, even if it's like B-line, even if it's awful, even if it's indie, like even if it's world, like regardless, I'll watch it. I had very low expectations for Thanksgiving just because of the name. I knew, okay, it's themed, it's going to be tacky, it's going to be pointless. I was actually pleasantly surprised. And I thought, if we're going to do a film review, let's review film. I mean, in my opinion, I thought, okay, it's the first time I've seen a horror in maybe 2-3 years. That was, I don't know, got me thinking, got me recommending. So I thought, okay, well, at least if I'm going to subject them to a movie, it will be decent.
Yeah. No, I get that.
It's got a really interesting history around it as well. We didn't get this in England, but you might know these two films, Planet Terror and what's it called? Death Proof.
Yeah, I know them. Planet Terror is the one with Rose McGowan with the gun leg?
Machine gun leg, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a double bill, wasn't it, both of these films?
In America, they were a double bill. They were sold separately over here, but in America, you brought one ticket, and I'm not sure which order they were in. I think it was Planet Terror and then Death Proof. But in the middle, they showed 5 mock trailers for films that didn't exist.
Nice.
And the mock trailers were Machete, which went on to exist.
Oh! Yeah.
With a Shotgun, which went on to exist.
Which exists, yeah.
Hobo with a Shotgun, never heard of that.
Which is what we've watched.
Yeah.
And then 2 films called Don't and Werewolf Women of the SS.
All right.
I hope these both get made.
Does seem likely, considering they've made 3 of them.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't know that about the fake trailers then becoming films.
The actual fake trailer to this does show a couple of key points that happen in this film. So it doesn't follow the exact same story, but you can tell that they've took, some inspiration from that. But the fake trailer's done in a way that makes it appear like an 80s pirate sort of film, and it steals the music from Creepshow.
Cool. Getting on to the film then. It's directed by Eli Roth, which I know does quite a bit of things. Like, I think he produces Haunted Museum as well, which is an entertaining watch. Even if I don't believe the whole ghost story stuff, because I don't believe in that kind of thing, personally. But I thought it was really good. Like, I started off like, it's just going to be like a bit of a stampede and stuff at the beginning. I didn't think it would be quite as brutal as what it was when it started.
Yeah.
I expected.
Doesn't waste time. That's why I like it.
Yeah. Like, I expected, maybe a couple of people will get trampled and that'll be the worst of it. But you had someone slicing their throat open, still trying to get his bloody waffle iron. You had, you did have the security guard getting completely squashed by people trampling over him and under a door. And then you had the wife of the one guy who got smashed in the face with a trolley and then scalped.
Yep.
It was just like, wow. And obviously the one of the main characters who broke his arm. But it was a really interesting, not interesting start, because you knew something was going to go, but I didn't think it would be as brutal as it was.
No, definitely. Like when the woman's scalp's pulled across the floor, and people are just carrying on shopping, and it does show the craziness.
The thing is, though, it was only until the end when I read the credits I saw it was done by Eli Roth, and then it all made sense to me. Because if you've watched the Hostel franchise, you know exactly what you're in for. So it was more a shock factor, and I was like, "Oh God, this reminds me of something." Oh, okay, it's made by the same people who did Hostel, which was very graphic as well. But really, I think very creatively done.
Yeah, I think obviously like it's taking the piss out of Black Friday clearly with the what went on, because obviously stuff has happened at Black Friday, but I don't think it's ever gone quite to those lengths.
No, apparently it is vicious in America. Like you said, not to this point, but people have got hurt. Yeah.
But yeah, brilliant start to the film. Obviously, then people start getting it. It's a year later. Plan to still go ahead to open the store where all this stuff happened the year before, which is shocking. Like, as in open it for Black Friday again, which is only a recent thing that the UK have been doing in the last like 5 or so years, something like that. Maybe a bit longer, but
it's not as popular, that's for sure. America, it's a day you book off of work to indulge. UK, we're just like, order something off Amazon and that's it.
Yes, pretty much. I remember watching a news report that was online from somewhere. It's like, oh, it's going to be mad. It's going to be crazy. And when they open these stores at 6 o'clock, and then like 2 customers walked in.
Yeah, I remember really? One like that.
It was in England. It wasn't in Wales. So I saw like a re-upload of it or something like that. It's just hilarious.
There was one where it was one guy, and they just went, "And what are you here for?" And he like goes, "I don't know. something might be cheap.
Something that they want as well. Probably not." A lot of people say don't buy things on Black Friday because they make them out of cheaper parts, which is why they do them cheaper. I don't know.
Oh,
yeah.
I think it's mostly like old stock. Like every year, new tellies come out, and I think they stuff in Black Friday's cheap, but it's like last year or the year before's model that they want out of the warehouse to make room for something new. So you're doing them as much a favour as they're doing you, really.
Yeah, they're still making a profit.
Yeah.
The main thing, isn't it? It started off with after all this, they're going to do a commercial for the store for the Black Friday sale, and obviously the house was ransacked and an axe was missing. I was like, oh, I wonder if we'll see that axe again.
Yes, it was such a parody of every horror film you've seen, but I loved it. It was just very witty at times, actually, but they were let you know that they're taking the piss through the whole film.
Yeah, I think the simple over the topness kind of gave that away. That like it is kind of comedic in many ways, like just satirizing so much other horror films.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of Halloween, Scream, and I Know What You Did Last Summer. They're the ones it really...
Yeah. Well, Scream, if I remember correctly, was kind of like a piss take of horror films anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was Wes Craven sort of looking at every horror that had been out and sort of taking the pee out of them and showing how they weren't that relevant nowadays.
Yeah. And then it kicked off a massive franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah, shockingly.
Yeah. Well, after not long after that one scene where the axe is missing. Oh, look, the theft, axe is missing, blah, blah, blah. It moves on to people in like a shop, and you see like a person in a mask. So you're like, right, well, that's obviously what the killer's going to look like if you hadn't seen like the promotional posters or anything. That's what it is. It's a pilgrim looking guy. And then it cuts to the night after they've all left the shops and stuff. And the crazy woman who was like shouting and screaming on the Black Friday the year before is in the shop on her own in the cafe. And then the crazy
Honestly,
killer guy. Yeah.
The crazy lady was my favorite person in this whole film.
Everyone was
She
a
made
fucking
such
dick,
a
though.
impression.
If you know what I mean.
No, they were all dicks, but she got the best. She got the best death, though. You got to admit, she made an impression. You remembered her when you see her again a year later, and then when she dies, you're like, "Wow, they really thought this through. How they want her to suffer."
Yeah, she suffered with her face being stuck to a fridge and door or freezer door, and then half her skin gets ripped off her face and her hand. And then the death was great, though. I did laugh. I pissed myself laughing when, like, she's like climbing into a big, massive wheelie bin, like a industrial size wheelie bin. And she's climbing into it, and the car slams her. The lid closes down, and she gets cut in half. I laughed, especially when she gets bottom half is like stuck on top of fucking like a star or something, just plop there, resting, chilling away, while the other half's underneath the murderer's hideout. But I really liked that because I just thought the death was great.
The thing is, they were really, like I mentioned before, they're really creative. So they've kept it in line with, you know, the whole Thanksgiving thing. Obviously, we'll explain more of the deaths later on. But with her, because she's running away and all, oh my God, when they stick their head to the fridge, I was like, she's not getting away lightly. He's going to make her suffer. And there's a bit where you think she's almost going to escape. It's like, nah, you're dead, mate.
Ooh, yeah. What do you think about that murder, Kerr? Do you think it was a good one? I do.
I loved the stuck to the freezer by the face thing. That was brilliant. I really liked that. And I did like the fact she pulled herself off. And she did that thing where you start screaming at the TV. Because when she went in that room and was locked in, and then she comes to let us out, I was going, "Oi, bitch, why are you letting yourself out? Just fucking barricade that door and stay in there till morning."
I was half thinking that too. But you know that the killer was probably going to break in somehow or trick her out. But it was like, how are you going to die? You're going to die, lady, but how?
You did have an axe. You could have just cut the door down. Oof.
Yeah, that's true.
But one thing I liked is when she tried to use a phone and her hand's all fucked so she can't touch the screen properly to use it. And then she's trying to use facial recognition on her phone and it's just like not working because her face is half gone. And that's why it's easier to have an old phone that has buttons instead of a touchscreen.
Yeah, the details were really thought out, like how screwed she was going to be. Yeah, at times like this, we really needed one of those Nokia phones.
Yeah. A nice old Nokia 3330 or whatever they were called. I can't remember. 3310, something like that.
A popular one with the different covers, yes.
Yeah. I haven't had one of them since I was young, like a teenager.
I think it was my second ever phone.
I remember. I think before I had one of them, I had a flip phone. Do you like the one in The Matrix? I had one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was fucking cool, man.
It was a Razor, I think.
I can't remember what it was.
I think it was the Razor. I think my brother did the exact same thing for that exact same reason. Matrix. That's it.
Yeah. Gotta be cool, man. Maybe. Obviously, like there's obviously exposition between things and you're learning about stuff. But like the main thing about these films obviously is the kills, and the second kill was also, it made me laugh. Like the kill wasn't like really gruesome or anything. The guy got stabbed. I can't remember if much else happened to him other than getting stabbed the security guard. Because obviously the guy is the killer is targeting people who he decided were the main issues with the incident that happened on the original Black Friday. And that was her because she was fucking crazy. two kids from a different school, which were also really annoying. The security guard, because he ran away.
He ran,
Yeah. And then obviously the main group of kids, because they got in early and everyone flipped out because of that. One thing I will say about this film is the amount of swearing in it. Literally, like the security guards going like, fuck. And like at the start, they're just shouting and swearing, fuck you cocksucker, shit like that. I don't care. I just thought it was funny. Like they swear worse than I do. But I like the security guard when he died. I remember him just being like stabbed in the chest from underneath with a turkey carver, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously they cut his head off to put around the table for the Thanksgiving Day feast, so to speak. But what I really liked about that entire thing was after the security guard is killed, the guy feeds the cat and then like gives the cat a little stroke and it's like, see, he's clearly not a bad guy. He's feeding the cat.
Yeah, it shows a shred of humanity, yeah.
I just thought it was funny. It's like, he just murdered someone. He's about to leave. He turns around, sees the cat and goes, actually, I'll feed the cat because the cat's not going to have any food. That's great. Did any of you predict who the killer would be?
No.
No, I didn't. That you get red herrings in a film, and I really, really thought it was the girl's new boyfriend. I really thought it was him, and I thought even if it's not him, he's an accomplice.
Yeah,
but no, that completely threw me off.
He
was just creepy. That's it.
I thought he would have been an accomplice, or the boyfriend and the ex-boyfriend worked together for a while. But I did earlier on in the film say who the killer was and was right, but then I changed my mind completely and I thought it was two people. The only reason why I thought it was certain people as well is because the killer was quite short.
Yeah.
Which is why I thought, well, it can't be the new boyfriend because he is taller than everyone else there. Whereas the killer is shorter than like most of the women.
I thought it was the ex-boyfriend because I thought it was going to be a thing where, his arm was fucked up so he couldn't play baseball anymore. So that would be the motivation.
Yeah, and it kind of implies that when one of the scenes in like later in the film, like a load of baseballs get hit over and you're like, see, it's implying it's him again.
But red herrings. They were really clever about it.
Yeah.
Because he disappears off the scene for a long time. And then there was the ex-manager of the store who has his own vendetta because his wife gets killed in the stampede. But you don't see him again for like, 3/4 of the film. And then he appears and it's like, nah, it's not going to be this guy.
No.
It's too obvious.
Again, for me,
the height.
The height is the thing that was the main thing for me. I said to the missus, because we watched it together, I said, it's clearly someone who's short. And there was a few short people, so it was obviously one of them. So it's either a short man or a short woman, but it's someone short. And that was my thoughts on who the murderer was. I'm just glad I clocked it and then changed my mind. I was like, nah, it can't be. It's got to be one of these other people. And I was right originally, but then it don't count because I got it wrong by the end. So that's on me. And the missus poisoning my thoughts, going, it's not the killer, this person is. Nah, I'm joking. One thing that I liked was the parade scene, like the whole someone just randomly gets their head cut off, and then a big part of like a parade float goes into the back of a driver's head and out through their face, and their face goes all weird looking. But what I don't know how I feel about it is the killer has a specific dress code in this film. Yeah, they're always dressed as that pilgrim person, but in the murder scene, in that fucking big clusterfuck of death, they dressed up as something else, and I was like,
A clown, yeah.
that goes against the rules of the genre, changing the look for one Midas scene. You know what I mean?
actually
Yeah,
clocked
that
that
was
clown
really
straight
cool.
away, and I went, "Did you see that clown?" To my missus, I went, "He was fucking creepy.
Yeah, it was a
If
creepy
he's
clown.
got something to do with it, then they should make him a villain." And then by the
Yeah.
time I'd finished saying it, he was killing.
Yeah, it was definitely
okay,
creepy
yeah.
clown, but it's kind of like, you've wore a specific outfit, you fucker. You can't put on a clown costume all of a sudden. That's like Ghostface in Scream going around murdering people as Ghostface, and then halfway through the movie going, nah, I'm going to dress up as, I don't know, Popeye. You know, a spooky Popeye.
I think it was a good move that it took you by surprise, though.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes with these horror films, you've got to break a few rules. Because if you follow all the sort of convictions and rules,
And the tropes of the genre,
yeah, you become too predictable. So
when you had a super creepy clown, it kind of implies that there's a super creepy clown for a reason. Then again, a lot of people will think whatever the clown looks like, it's going to be creepy.
yeah, it's amazing how many people are scared of clowns, really, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
probably got Stephen King to blame for that.
Help.
No.
I mean, we got things like this. They do kind of reinforce that little fear. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not scared of clowns. I'm just saying, I see where they're coming from. They've got makeup on. You don't really know what's going on. And they're just, that they throw their voices. It can be quite jarring.
I'm not really. I'm trying to think of horror films, but like I think there's Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah.
It, and then there's
Clown House.
Clown House. I'm not familiar with, and then there's the more recent ones, Terrifier. With Art the Clown.
Art the Clown.
Yeah. So.
Oh,
House
was 1,000 Corpses.
Oh yeah,
I
Captain
haven't
Spaulding.
seen that. I need to watch that.
Oh, that is also very gory and a lot of swearing, so you might like that quite a bit.
Cool. But,
Clown Ass was by that guy that did Jeepers Creepers.
I
Was
remember
it any
Jeepers
good?
Creepers.
It's a shit old film, and
Oh,
most of it is young lads running around in their underpants. And I don't know if you know this, but the guy that directed Jeepers Creepers, who directed Clown House, is a convicted paedophile.
Well,
shit, I didn't know that.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
So if you want to watch anything of his, pirate it, because it's morally right, in my opinion.
I agree.
But
Yeah, he doesn't deserve money. Yeah, agreed.
he made a film for Disney as well called Powder, about a child with supernatural powers or something. Yeah.
That film is
And that was
fantastic.
that was
Oh my
after he
God,
was
it
convicted.
is.
After he was convicted.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
He was
Okay,
convicted
it's a fantastic film.
for
Oh God.
abusing one of the lads that was in Clown House. And when Powder came out, the lad from Clown House and his family turned up at the premiere and picketed it and stuff. But yeah, it seems to really have gone underground, and people don't seem to realise or want to realise that he's a convicted paedophile.
I mean,
Yeah, it's wrong. I didn't even know
I'll be
that.
honest, I don't think he's got much of a career. To be fair. Powder, I just watched by chance many years ago on a recommendation, and it was fantastic. But again, I never paid attention to who did the film or anything. And Jeepers Creepers, like I said, I watch any type of horror film. And Jeepers Creepers isn't exactly the best film in the world. There were just some good aspects of it. But yeah,
It's just a shame that
Victor
someone
Salva,
like that's
that's
involved.
his name. Yeah, Victor Salva.
I didn't, it's rare I remember the name of the directors of films and so on and so forth. I've been paying more attention with this now, doing the podcast, because I've started putting the information in the YouTube videos for the layout of the podcast. But generally speaking, I forget a lot of the directors and a lot of actors' names I forget, and so on and so forth, because I've got an awful memory. Just the way I am.
It took me the whole 5 minutes of talking about this for his name to suddenly come back into my head. So
Right. This is one of my favorite bits of the film, right? We're getting close to the end. Right. Obviously, there's a couple of more murders we should talk about. Like, the thing is the one guy gets killed, right? I was going to speak about something else that I really enjoyed. But the guy from the other school, who was like a massive dickhead, he gets killed by having his neck broken. There was nothing particularly interesting about that. What was the fun bit was where the cheerleader was like bouncing up and down on a trampoline. And the guy just sticks knives up through the fucking bottom of it.
Oh, yeah.
That was funny. I did laugh at that. I was a little disappointed. I was hoping to see some nudity from some of the people in there. I'm joking.
That is actually in the Grindhouse trailer.
Is it?
Different actors.
Yeah.
Do you know what a death splits is? It's where they jump up and spread their legs totally apart.
Yeah.
In the trailer, she does one of them,
Ow.
and the knife goes in the hoo-ha.
Yay?
So this was tamer. No, it goes in her side, in her head or something in this, but it's clearly definitely in the hoo-ha in the Grindhouse trailer.
Shit. Well, at least she got it, but didn't get that happen to her, even though it's technically the same person, but not.
Same as in the Grindhouse trailer, her boobies are out as well.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. Just mellowed it down a bit.
Yeah, it's fair enough. It's violent enough. We don't need to see boobies as well. Or do we? Who knows?
But it tends to be like a horror staple, doesn't it? That whether you need boobies or not, will provide some boobies just because.
I don't think it's as common as it used to be, though. Is it like in 80s, 90s? They'd be a pale in there, like, but
yeah, it's been left behind a little bit.
It needs to be in a slasher movie. Anything else, not so much.
But it's usually like, oh yeah, people will have sex and then die immediately after or during, that kind of thing. And the virgin girl will survive somehow because virginity is sacred, or I don't fucking know.
Yeah, that's very Friday the 13th sort of territory, isn't it?
Yeah.
The ones that have gone off to smoke pot die. The ones who are having premarital sex die. The ones that have disobeyed their parents die. And the good one that does everything they're told is the one that you'll know will make it to the sort of last part of the film.
Yeah. Obviously, all the people are at one point caught or killed. And they're all round up around the table. And just before they're all rounded up, the mother-in-law of the main character is captured, and then she's basted. And,
I love that.
And seasoned with salt and pepper, and some
favorite kill.
Loads of like stuff put on her to season her up, and then she manages to escape briefly. And then she gets caught again. And then the guy just like, oh, well, she's already seasoned and basted, and chucks her in a giant oven and cooks her. The best thing about it is he put stuff on the feet to make it look like like those turkey weird papery things that people put on turkeys, and then ties it in a position so she's like a turkey and sticks it on the table. It's like, oh, look, she's cooked for everyone. No, she's been cooking all day.
The best bit is, he said earlier, didn't he, the sheriff, something about your mum would make a fantastic dinner.
Yeah. That was great.
Words.
And she did. I liked it when he popped to there, because like you had people spewing while they were gagged. And obviously the one of the girls was kept in a fridge, and they popped a corkscrew into them, And it did it literally made the pop of the cork coming out when they popped it out of her and drained her some blood. And said, "Oh, you might want to let that settle for a bit," because obviously they were doing a Thanksgiving dinner, but using the people as the drinks and the food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I genuinely thought that was brilliant. It's like, yeah, I get they were cooking. I get that he was cooking her. I got that, but I expected her to be flat on the table or something. I did not expect him to bring her out as if she were a turkey.
Yeah, it's just a great visual, isn't it?
Yeah. Literally legs tucked up, tied. Fucking brilliant.
Well, it does make sense because once you cook something, it goes hard. So yeah, to having to tie up her legs and all that, he committed. He committed to this dinner hard.
He did, yeah. And I liked how he cut a piece of off. It's like, oh, go on, have some. You know, she been cooking all day. Eat some. Tell her how good her cooking tastes and shit like that. And obviously, he didn't eat her. But, that was great. The final scenes are your typical kind of kind of tropey in the sense of they figure out who the killer was. It turns out it wasn't the killer. The main character worked out who the killer was, and then they had to escape. But I don't know if it's implied that he survived or not at the end. Only because, when they said, oh, no one would survive from that, one of the firemen, it was focused on one of the particular firemen walking out with a mask on where you couldn't see them.
Yeah, we said that's got to be him.
But obviously you don't see anything there. So, who knows? But
the way I see it, if there's no body, they haven't been found.
Exactly. Yeah. A person needs to cook at a certain temperature to get rid of the bones, and I don't think that fire was hot enough. Not that I'm a arson specialist. So, well, what do you think of the film overall then? Because honestly, I really enjoyed myself with it. I thought it was over the top, daft fun.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you like really bloody creative stuff, you'll like it. It made me think of things like Dusk Till Dawn, but then also it was a dafter version of sort of Halloween.
Yeah. It kind of did it did take things from other films, I guess, but it kind of either ramped up the gore to silly amounts or it just really took the piss. But in a kind of a subtle way, it didn't just outright be look at this is from something else, but funnier. It's kind of more subtly, but still over the top, so you get a bit of a laugh out of it at the same time.
Yeah, like I said, it was kind of a really one-off me jumping into this film, but I think it's a really good example of not using A-class actors and achieving a fantastic film just by really good ideas and script. I think I only knew maybe two of the actors in the film, the guy who ended up being the killer, and then the man who owns the actual company which is doing the Black Friday sales. Yeah, a lot of great ideas.
Yeah, the sheriff's Patrick Dempsey, isn't it? And I'm pretty sure that he worked for well under his usual fee because he wanted to be in a horror film.
All right.
Which, kudos to him.
It's
I don't know if you've ever seen, but there's an Arnold Schwarzenegger film called Maggie that's about his daughter being bit and turning into a zombie. And apparently he did that for sod all because he wanted to do a type of film that... Because basically all of that film's about him talking to his daughter before she changes, and it's sentimental in a way. And he just wanted to do something that wasn't busting through doors with oozes. And I just love when actors think beyond the money. they think about their legacy. And
Yeah. I mean, let's be real. Like for Patrick Dempsey, he's typecast as kind of the romantic
yeah,
person. So yeah, you're right. He had to offering to do it for a low fee is the only way he could kind of get out of being typecast. And I to be honest, like I said, I didn't expect him to be the killer, so that was a pleasant surprise. And when you find out his reasons, that really shocked me when you find out the twist of I don't want to spoil, but yeah, the main reason why he wants revenge on everyone, I was like, whoa, where did that come from? Okay. But he did
Yeah.
a good job. Really good job.
well, you'd hire him for a horror film after this one, wouldn't you? You wouldn't worry about it
Oh, no,
again.
100%. He's shown his skill. He just did a fantastic job. And you didn't need a massive budget. And I think that's another thing that Eli Roth did really well with when he did the Hostel franchise. They all looked very low budget and they succeeded fantastically. Because of their ending, I'm thinking there might be a Thanksgiving too, but I don't know. It would be nice, but again, I wouldn't push for it. I just thought this was a complete film. Like I watched it and was like, this was perfect.
Yep. I would agree. I don't think it needs a sequel. They could do one, I guess, but you kind of don't need it. Like there's no need. And maybe they'll just do the next two films. I don't know who directed the other two films. I think it was in Machete. I can't remember. I'm awful, like we said, remembering people. But I think that basically I'm hoping that the other two films might get made because it sounds like they're making some good films from the fake trailers.
Yeah.
But who knows? I guess we'll see. Would you recommend this film, guys, before we jump off?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also would recommend this
Go on,
film.
Kate.
I always like to watch things in double feature. If you've got the time, watch two films. There's actually a film starring Bruce Campbell called Black Friday. So,
What?
Black Friday.
Campbell, I have to watch it.
And then this, I think, would make a good sort of Black Friday, Thanksgiving weekend double feature.
Guess we'll be watching Black Friday soon then. You can take part as well if you want, Prinny. Gotta watch a Bruce Campbell film.
I know, that's not a chore. That's a pleasure.
Is there anything you would like to plug, Prinny, before we jet off?
No. Well, if you want to know more about my wacky adventures in life, feel free to follow me. I am active on Twitter / it's called X now, but it's my tag is it's Hades_Kitty because Doomed Prinny was already taken. You can also find me on Twitch as Doomed_Prinny. And then I've got a link tree to my YouTube and all that, which is on my Twitter. So yeah, if you want to talk about horror movies, JRPGs, hit me up.
Yourself, Kerr? You got anything you would like to plug?
Well, I'm on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, and Blue Sky and Mastodon and YouTube all as Kerr9000. And if you're into horror like this, I've got something like 160 odd horror-based videos on YouTube.
Those are reviews and things, aren't they? Not actual horror movies yourself.
Mostly horror reviews. There's some things about the history of Tales from the Crypt and stuff like that as well.
Oh, nice. Tales from the Crypt is ace.
Yeah, I love it.
I used to like Tales from the Crypt and Tales from the Crypt Keeper, which was the cartoon.
Yeah.
I think that is going to be us then. Thank you guys for taking part. Thank you everyone who has listened. We'll be back in a fortnight with another film. I'm not sure where that's going to be. But yeah, thank you and see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Please, dude.
that any way to thank Kathleen? She's been cooking all